All right. Boy, we ran into a bombshell last night. PED conversations, including Floyd Mayweather Jr., Manny Pacquiao, and Canelo Alvarez by a former world champion. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also, I want to say special thank you to the Patreons and to the live stream community for your support on the channel. It is much appreciated and definitely enjoyed. And I invite you to come to the next OG Boxing Talk Sunday mornings, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, Sundays, with myself, Blood Boxing, KQKC Boxing, Trap House Boxing, and Curtis Anderson. We have a great show. And our other co-host, Drew Titan, who on his channel had one of the most explosive conversations I have heard on YouTube in a while. There was a live stream entitled The Science Behind Weight Control in Boxing, and there was a special guest on there, two special guests, also along with New Fat Boy Fitness, who was there as another YouTube channel. Shout out to the LDBC, New Fat Boy Fitness, and Drew Titan. They had on that show Nate, the Galaxy Warrior Campbell, the former IBF, I believe he had the IBF, the WBA, and the WBO lightweight champions. Yep, it was the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO lightweight champion. We beat Juan Baby Bull Diaz. He also has fought fighters like Joe Casamayor, Tim Bradley. He fought Danny Garcia. You know who he is. If you don't know who he is, you really ain't a boxing fan, because that's one of the more, very, very experienced fighter. Great. Also on that chat was Reggie Johnson. Reggie Johnson is a former WBA, I believe he's a WBA champion at either middleweight or light heavyweight, but he also fought guys like James Toney. He fought Roy Jones Jr. He fought Tarver in one of the multiple weight classes that he fought in, Southpaw out of Houston. And they were talking about the weight control in boxing. And in the midst of it, Drew Titan, who I'm so proud of for asking this question, said, "What about PEDs in boxing?" Guy, he's like, "Hey man, I gotta address the 800-pound gorilla in the room. What about weight control? What about steroids in boxing?" Because that is directly related to weight control. Then Nate dropped the bomb. He said that he spoke about three people. And he said he would tell these people that to their faces, so he didn't care. So he doesn't care. I'm going to report it to you. If I just heard him say it in the hallway and he and I were talking, I would have never mentioned it. But I want to give a big shout out to Drew Titan and his channel for the great work that they always do. And he said it so I can share it. I feel like he gave permission to let it out. He said that number one, Manny Pacquiao, because he was asked, who do you think, or do you have any knowledge of people being on performance enhancing drugs? He said one, and he wasn't going to name names or name how he knew about it or anything like that. He said, number one, in his opinion, Manny Pacquiao was the dirtiest fighter ever in boxing. And he pointed out a guy putting on 30 pounds of muscle is impossible. So, but we knew that. We all knew around all of the rumors around Manny Pacquiao, how Manny Pacquiao went up, he started off at, who knows, 32 pounds. I'm exaggerating, obviously. And he goes all the way up to fight at 152 pounds. It's pretty much from lightweight on to welterweight, from the lightweight to the 140 pounds to 147 pounds. He got faster. He got stronger. His muscle density, his head looked like it got bigger. All those things that you typically see around steroids. He talked about Manny Pacquiao, but we've all heard that. The second thing he talked about was Floyd Mayweather Jr., though. And he said he's not going to release his source for who told him. He said that he has heard of Floyd Mayweather Jr. pissing dirty on 3 occasions. Not 1, not 2, but 3 occasions that Floyd Mayweather Jr. had pissed dirty. And then he talked about his opinion. Now, he's out of boxing with Canelo Alvarez, but he said Canelo Alvarez, in his opinion, is super duper duper dirty. Now, I put super duper duper dirty on it, but he talked about Canelo Alvarez being dirty as well. Now, to people with eyes, you know that's the case. Or you would be silly not to suspect it. I'll put it that way. Naive not to heavily suspect that with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez moved up in less than a year, moved up 15 pounds of pure rock solid muscle in a year. In about a year, 15 pounds of solid muscle in a year. That is something bodybuilders aspire to do. He is not that mesomorphic. Okay, so we all know this though. Okay, we all know this. The only real new news to people that are going to pay attention to this on my channel is the Floyd Mayweather Jr. pissing dirty on multiple occasions. Now I can't verify that. I don't know what Nate Campbell's sources for that are, other than my belief that he sounded extremely honest about it. It's not like he went out of his way to spread it. Somebody asked him about it, and he gave an honest answer. And if you know anything about Nate Campbell and have listened to him talk long enough, you'll know that's the kind of guy that he is. Now, what does this say about the sport of boxing? Just that we know that this performance-enhancing stuff, drug stuff, is at the highest levels of the sport. It's rampant. And it's rampant, it's way out of control. And at this point, instead of people trying to solve the problem, it seems as if the powers that be have just accepted that that's what the case is, and are trying to do nothing about it because they don't want to. And only reason I could think that they would act the way that they're acting is that they don't want it to get in the way of their money. You have the WBA, and I've made videos about that. I've made videos about this before. You have the WBC, rather, who decreased or increased the levels of Cambuterol that are allowed in the system of a boxer before it is at an illegal level. So now boxers, and I do believe it's boxers, whether it's in Mexico or anywhere else, can now take Cambuterol, and if it's in their system but it's low enough, but it's below their threshold, they will come clean in a test, which is essentially legalizing the use of legalize the consumption of Cambuterol up to a certain level. And with this, and with the ability that people have and the knowledge that professionals have of the use of steroids and not getting caught, that to me is just, they might as well just say, it's just let everybody do whatever they want to do, because there's something called microdosing and half-lives of these drugs. And that's the way to cheat that I know of, which is you just take enough, and you take just enough. So when it decreases in your system, you wind up getting underneath the limit very quickly. And when you raise the limit, you pretty much completely eliminate the half-life, or cut significantly in the amount of time that you can make it that much easier to get below detectable levels, right? When you increase the threshold. So, it's just a joke. It's a joke. And then obviously you have matchroom boxing and what you see with Dillian White, and Dillian White testing positive for D-ball, but somehow he's still given a pass until he proves it to the WBC. He's actually allowed to get into the ring because he came up with good enough excuse for the BOC. You have, Tyson Fury tested positive for nandrolone. You have Povetkin have tested positive 2-3 different times. It's just, it's crazy. Now, the one thing that I'm happy about with all this information coming out, performance enhancing drugs, is that it eliminates a debate that I used to have in the early 2000s, late 90s with people where people kept saying, oh, these fighters are just getting bigger. They're getting faster. They're getting stronger. They have these better techniques. They're so much better than the fighters that are older because human evolution has come along so far. These people are acting like the dinosaurs turned into birds in a 3-week period, or in a 10-year period. That's not how fast the evolution works. Okay, it doesn't. We haven't transformed that much as human beings in the last 40 years. Okay, I was born 50 years ago. I had a son 14 years ago. He is not going to be 10 inches taller than me and 50 pounds bigger just because human evolution has moved us so far forward in the 35 years between when we were born. It's absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, Nate Campbell saying that about Floyd Mayweather Jr., I can believe it. For something, I don't know what it would be. Manny Pacquiao, that's very believable. Canelo Alvarez, quite honestly, man, that's just obvious with Canelo Alvarez because he did pop dirty. At least with Manny Pacquiao, I don't know, but you don't know for sure because he never popped. With Floyd Mayweather Jr., you don't know because he never popped. But Canelo Alvarez, you know because he popped dirty, but the WBC changed the rules so that if he pops dirty for the same thing twice, he won't be penalized. It's a joke, but it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.